Greetings. I'm Pearl John and welcome to the Other 167. We continue our series on tough questions and tough answers, and today we focus on the question, the power of perspective, seeing life through heaven's eyes. Your perspective shapes your reality. Have you ever noticed how two people can face the same situation but respond completely differently? One sees an opportunity and the other sees a crisis. One sees hope and the other sees hopelessness. And one sees God's hand and the other sees only obstacles. And what is the difference? Perspective. Now, here's the truth. How you see determines how you live. A small shift in perspective can lead to a massive shift in life. God wants you to see through the eyes of faith, not fear. Today, let's uncover 3 game-changing perspectives that will transform how we face challenges. 1, problems are possibilities. Perspective changes and shapes our purpose. In Romans 8:28, we read, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those that love Him." Joseph was betrayed, imprisoned, and forgotten, but through it all, God was preparing him to lead a nation. David was running from Saul, but that season trained him to be a king. And what looks like a setback is often God's setup for something greater. A young athlete tore his ACL right before his big break, and he thought it was the end of his career. But that season of rehab taught him discipline, mental toughness, and faith. And you know what happened years later? He came back stronger and won a championship. Now, this is what I'd recommend. Would you take this concrete action and ask God, what is it that you're preparing me for? Instead of, why is this happening to me? And you will see the possibilities unlocking. What looks like a problem may actually be a preparation for your promotion. The second is scarcity or sufficiency. A perspective shapes the provision that you see. In Philippians chapter 4 and verse 19, "And my God shall supply all your needs according to His riches and glory." The disciples saw 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus saw a feast for thousands. Moses saw the Red Sea as a dead end. God saw it as a doorway. What you focus on determines what you experience. Now, during an economic downturn, 2 entrepreneurs faced the same crisis. One cut back in fear and lost everything. The other adapted, innovated, and found new ways to serve people. And today he runs a thriving business. Can this be your action step? See what you have through God's eyes, God's lens, and not through the lens of lack. God's provision isn't based on what you see, it's based on what He is. 3, obstacles are opportunities. Perspective shapes power-packed possibilities. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7, we read, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." The 12 spies saw the same land. 10 of them saw giants. 2 saw God's promise. Paul saw a prison cell, but he also saw an opportunity to write letters that would change the trajectory of history. Faith sees doors where fear sees dead ends. A woman was rejected for her dream job 5 times. Instead of quitting, she asked, "What's God teaching me?" Now, that season of waiting built her resilience, and she landed a position beyond what she imagined. And this is your action step. When faced with obstacles, ask God, what opportunity is hidden in this? Fear sees a wall, faith sees a way through. Let me bring this to a close. The call is to shift your perspective. Problems are preparation. See trials as a training ground for your next level. Scarcity or sufficiency, trust that God's supply never runs dry. Obstacles are opportunities. Step forward in faith, not fear. When you change how you see, you change how you live. This is Pearl John signing off, The Other 167. Thank you for watching The Other 167. We continue our series next week. Until then, have a wonderful weekend and a fabulous week ahead. God bless.